Yeah, hi there, this is tuxoch.com again. Welcome on my video channel. Just right to the summer sale, Luminar, or better to say Skillum, released a new version of Luminar Neo, and that's the 1.27.1. But why is a subversion so interesting or so important? That is because we get a new function here in this version, which is still, of course, beta, but I tried it out and it works already pretty good, and that is to import a Lightroom catalog. So now is the question, where is Skillum gonna hit towards with Luminar Neo? Because importing, or the ability to import a Lightroom catalog, is useful for those people who want to switch from Lightroom over to Luminar Neo. Maybe they like the Luminar better, or it's a better workflow, or they don't like the subscription model, or so on and so forth. But first, let's take a look on how it works. Okay, I opened here Luminar Neo in the latest version. That is the 1.27.1. And this version comes with a pretty interesting update, and that is here under File, Catalog, the ability to import a Lightroom catalog. Okay, first of all, notice that is clearly classified as a beta status, so you don't have to expect too much. And here you get an explanation what is imported from the Lightroom catalog. That are, of course, the images, folders, albums, and so on and so forth. And that is really important, the basic edits. I experienced that Lightroom must be closed when you want to import the catalog, and so we start that importing the catalog right away. He already finds a default Lightroom catalog I got here on the local drive here for my MacBook, and now we start the import. That goes pretty fast, and here we got all the images, and as you can see, that is a collection I already used for another video here from my vacation to Tuscany. Okay, that is imported right away into Luminar, and as you can see here, the import includes all the folders, just like in Lightroom. Okay, we have to open up Lightroom to show it to you. Okay, and here I did a collection too for the comparison images with the settings in Lightroom and in Luminar Neo. Okay, we switch back to Luminar Neo, and as you can see here, that album is taken over into Luminar Neo, which is pretty neat. But on the other hand, I show you another example here that I did. Here is Smart collection. It just filters all the images done with the Lumix S5 Mark II X, just as an example. That is not taken over, even though Luminar Neo has the active metadata. It could take over those smart collections, but remember, it's still beta. Okay, we change back to Luminar Neo. Go to the first example, like this one, and if you go to Edit, like this, you can here get information about the parameters which are taken over from the Lightroom catalog. I didn't even do any image processing here in Luminar Neo. That is taken over from the Lightroom catalog. As you can see here, it driven up the exposure a little bit, took down the highlights, opened up the shadows, and so forth. And if we go here to the Lightroom catalog, take that one, and go to the develop module, you right away can see that almost the same parameters like here exposure 0.71, 0.71, the highlights 0.37, and here the shadows plus 50 and so on are just taken over one-to-one from the Lightroom catalog or the Lightroom settings. That looks pretty okay. And even though if you take over the complete library here, or the complete collection I did here, even took over into Luminar Neo. Okay, I have to switch. Go back to the catalog. Even took over here that one that is taken with the Luminar S9 in the aspect ratio of 64:24. That is taken over automatically with the Lightroom import. Okay, let's take, for example, this image here and go to the Edit tab and go to the Edits. You can see here that has a vignette with the same amount and setting and size taken over from Lightroom. But when I go into the Lightroom settings, I think the vignette is a little bit stronger here in Lightroom, but you took over the same settings for the vignette and all other parameters for the image processing. Let's take a look at another example like this one. We are in Lightroom. That one was done with the normal processing. Like you can see here, I took down the exposure and opened up the shadows a little bit. But the important one is I used upscale to straighten up the lines of the cathedral. And when I go here, do the Luminar Neo example, it takes up the settings from Lightroom for exposure and open up the shadows and so forth. But of course, I guess, since it's first implementation of that one, you won't get anything to straighten up the lines here in this architecture image. And the last example is, let's take that one. Here you took up the parameters too, like you can see here, smart contrast, highlights, and so on. And if we change back to Lightroom Classic, like for that one, you can see that the parameters are they are equal, 0.53 plus 6 minus 67 and so on, plus 49 and so on. But what is not taken over, of course, is masking, which I did here to darken the sky in this scene. And here the last one, that is Lightroom. Okay, we have to Luminar Neo and go to that one. And that is pretty equal, I think. Maybe the highlights here, the clouds are a little bit darker in the Lightroom Classic processing, but I think that is okay. Importing a Lightroom catalog already works pretty good, even though this function is already beta. The basic image processing data like exposure and so on, saturation and white balance and so on are even taken over, but with the same value. For example, if you have a ruler set to let's say 27 in the saturation, that doesn't mean the same amount of saturation if you put the ruler to 27 in Luminar Neo or any other image program. But it worked out already pretty well. It takes over the collections, as I showed you. What's not taken over is a smart collection, because Luminar Neo, of course, doesn't support keywords so far, but they support EXIF metadata, so it could be possible that they might be taken over somewhere in the future. I think the function is implemented to give those people a chance to switch completely from, let's say, Lightroom to Luminar Neo, and not just use it as a plugin as it is implemented so far. The function, even though it's better, works already pretty good. As I showed you, most of the parameters are taken over. And if you don't have complicated masking in the Lightroom catalog and so on, that should work out to take over your or import your Lightroom catalog with all the image processing already taken over. Maybe you might just make little improvements or adjustments in your images, but I think it's working pretty good. So if you're interested in that, you should give Luminar Neo a try. I post a link here in the video description with the code for additional 20% discount on the price. And if you don't trust that, you even could try a trial version and play around with the Luminar Neo app to see if it fits into your workflow. Okay, that was my little video about the new version 1.27.1. And if you find this video helpful, you might think about placing a like on the video, and I surely would appreciate it if you subscribe my channel, but then don't forget to hit the bell so you get a notification every time I upload a new video. Okay, that was my little review on the new Luminar Neo version, and all I have to say is till the next time, ciao, Tux Oche.